A few millennia ago, there was this guy, and he was pretty impressive. Wise, strong, best of the best, literally made by the gods handsome. King Gilgamesh, ruler of Uruk, was also a bit of a prick. He exhausted his men in contests and labour, and slept with the women on their wedding nights, that old droit de seigneur nonsense. No one could stand up to him, so he basically went around doing whatever to whomever, until the people of Uruk, understandably annoyed with this jerk tyrannying all over the place, beseeched their gods for aid.
Hey, this guy is meant to be our shepherd, but he's just kind of wrecking our ship.
The big sky cheese, An, appreciated that their super soldier king could do with some taming, so he visited mankind's godly mum, Aruru.
Aruru, hun, you've got to help me out. I need you to create someone who can wear Gilgamesh down a bit.
No worries, Anu. I gotcha.
So Aruru pinched some clay, chucked it down to earth, and boom! Enkidu. Now this guy, he's a babe. Long thick hair, strong silent type, one with nature. Maybe a bit too much with nature. He's running around with beasts and game as if he's one of them, but has the human intelligence to destroy hunters' traps and the like. The whole Tarzan thing. Of course, eventually a hunter saw this wild man and, understandably scared, reported back to his father. Dad, bloody Fabio over here is running around with the beasts like he's one of them, wrecking all my traps and freeing his animal mates. The father, smart chap, knew just what to do, for he understood the most powerful force in the world. Sex. Head to the city, my son. Brawn ain't the answer here. Speak with Gilgamesh and get Shamat the sacred sex worker. Take her to the waterhole, get her to strip. Guy will not be able to resist her. So the son went and explained the sitch to Gilgamesh. Shamat was clearly renowned for her dick-slaying prowess, because he agrees. Take Shamat. Let her strip to reveal her charms. This man must be thirsty as fuck, and so they will bone, and the animals will shun him. Sound plan. Shamat and the hunter head off and set up camp at the watering hole, and they wait, and wait, and wait. And 2 days later, the animals finally return to have a drink, and with them, Enkidu. Alright Shamat, time to do Inanna proud. Unleash that rocking bod on this god-forged wild man. Enkidu was indeed charmed, and Shamat worked for 2 weeks. When Enkidu was finally satisfied, he popped back to see his animal friends. But sure enough, the animals spurned him. He was no longer a pure beast, but now a being with reason, with understanding. Because now, Shamat is either super professional or had a wild time of her own, because she was still there when he came back, and she explained. Enkidu, you are all manner of godly gorgeous, and yet you've been running around with beasts. Come back to Uruk, where, so happens, there's another muscle-bound man called Gilgamesh. Enkidu is into this. Sounds good. I'ma fight him. No. Look, Uruk is a rad place with festivals and music, and even more temple sex workers. Gilgamesh is kind of a dick with a real loose grasp on the idea of consent, but, like, gorgeous and super ripped. Bit of a clever cookie too, he's the god's boy. Even you couldn't take him. Hey, let me tell you about some dreams he had. Scene change, and Gilgamesh has been having crazy dreams. He went to his mum and proceeded to talk about his dreams, which everyone loves. So there was this star that was also a rock, and it fell from the sky onto me, and I couldn't get it off me, not even with these bad boys. Then all of Uruk was milling around and started kissing its feet, and I guess then I could pick it up? And I loved it like a wife, and I hugged it, and I showed it to you, and then you made it my equal. Which is pretty straightforward as far as dream recounting goes. His mum, who is the goddess Ninsun, explained that, "Son, a mighty person this way comes, and you're gonna love him." That night Gilgamesh dreams again, and no good deed going unpunished, Ninsun has to endure yet another dream retelling. Okay, so this time there was an axe in the middle of town, and the people were really into it, so I picked it up and loved it like a wife, and hugged it, but it didn't cut me or anything, so I took it to you and you made it my equal. Son, this is the same as before. The axe represents a good friend who you'll love like a wife and embrace. It's gonna be great, kid. Suffice it to say, Gilgamesh was pretty excited by this. Shamat recounted all this to Enkidu, who, despite it being the retelling of 2 dreams, stayed awake and they fucked again. And so, through the power and skill of Shamat's sex, Enkidu was being made civilized, and Shamat led him back to the city. On their way to Uruk, they bumped into shepherds, who happened to be talking about him. This absolute unit, how like in build he is to Gilgamesh, tall in stature, proud as a battlement. For sure it's Enkidu, born in the uplands. The kind fellows shared with Enkidu their bread and beer. Enkidu, having never seen the like, stared at the offering like a numpty until Shamat showed him, like, "You eat this one, yeah? Yum? And drink the other one, yeah. Congrats, you will now not starve." They spent some time at the shepherd's camp, where a barber wrestled with Enkidu's manly body hair, and he got some actual clothing. Their hospitality was rewarded by this newly Pygmalioned Enkidu taking up a weapon and working as a watchman, bloodily preventing the nightly wolves and lions from sating their hunger on the shepherd's chewy bits. One day, while Shamat and Enkidu were getting down, a chap hurried past their camp. Enkidu's curiosity was apparently so great that he interrupted this carnal scene and insisted Shamat bring the fellow to him.
"Friend, where are you hurrying to?"
"I'm catering a wedding banquet in Uruk. Hey, fun fact, when someone gets married, the king gets a free throw with the bride before the groom."
"You fucking what?"
Fast forward and Enkidu has made it to Uruk, standing in the town square with people milling around him. They too were in awe of this absolute unit. He's shorter than Gilgamesh, but damn boy.
Did you hear he suckled
This
on
is
animals,
definitely
man?
wild man Enkidu.
We should set him up as a champion to rival Gilgamesh.
Enkidu! Enkidu! Enkidu!
Setting up Enkidu as their champion, he blocked Gilgamesh's path to the wedding house. Gilgamesh reacted to this cock-blocking with all the diplomatic tact of Wolverine, and combat was joined. Doors shook, walls shuddered, flesh was grasped as these two probably oiled hunks wrestled for all to see, until at long last, anger quelled. Gilgamesh broke off and dropped to his knees. Enkidu, likewise settled, reasoned with the king. "Mate, you're powerful, you're king, you've got nothing to prove. Forget sleeping with this woman, let's chill." And so it was, the two kissed, and a great friendship was formed.